live. All righty. Happy Friday. Happy Employee Appreciation Day. And we appreciate all of our viewers and listeners to Marketing Qualified. Miss Swedish Fish, how the heck are you?
Oh my God. I cannot believe how many Fridays we missed.
I know.
I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, how good did it feel to just like jump and be like, happy Friday?
I know. We're back. The rundown is back. Yeah. All right. So we have a lot to talk about. We're having this is a Marketing Qualified spinoff of our Partner Science, our other newsletter. So there's a little bit of psychology into Marketing Qualified today. We've got some great topics with psychology and memes, which I think could be an oxymoron right there, but we'll see.
Well, this is my space. I love this.
This is your sweet spot. This is definitely your sweet spot. So, okay, let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about the 5 buyer psychology moves that work, in our opinion, and backed by science sometimes. So, all right, what is the number one? These are not actually, I would say,
not in order. No.
Yeah, not in order or anything. There just happen to be 5 of them. So
they're just 5 different psychology principles that we say that you should try to lean into a little bit more in your marketing. So the first one, the status quo bias.
Yeah, this one, I mean, I think at the end of the day is like you get so comfortable with what you have, and I think the saying "the devil you know" versus the devil you don't. I mean, it's an old saying. Like, it's true. It's right. I mean, you get very used to certain things, and it's hard when you think about buying services and buying things, whether it be services or products in space. Like, you get so used to that. Like, I don't want to disrupt the apple cart, so to speak.
And that's like everything in life. Literally everything. We're so comfortable. We know what we know. That's it. And we get stuck there.
Yeah. So I think, a good lesson here in this bias, when we're trying to overcome this bias, I should say, is instead of like trying to talk about how one specific thing about the giant service offering, like how easy a platform is, try to show the smaller things, right? People, unfortunately, with the busy lifestyles, busy everything, it's very, very hard to digest the big, right? The big thing and big changes. But if you can start doing little small things, then it helps, helps people get a little bit more comfortable without realizing that, oh my gosh, this ultimately will be something bigger. But in that right now, it's just more digestible.
Yep. It's a good one.
That's a good one. All right. Number 2. What's number 2?
Self-identification. That's literally us. It's the best way of putting that. So self-identification is what happens when someone sees your message or read anything and feel and think, oh, that's us or that's me. Because there is no such thing as the one size fits all. And I feel like that's where B2B, where we typically get stuck and we're too generic in our messaging. So when you lean into this bias is when you get more specific, very, very deep on we're helping. You're so specific in your message. So when someone see it or read it, they can feel exactly what you're saying. And that's exactly what this is about.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, we obviously practice what we preach here too. And I think, especially when you think about like case studies or use cases, like when you're really getting niche and talking about, oh, this, healthcare, finance, legal, whatever, like you go beyond, you get very specific in that niche, not just that, even at that level. And I think when people can self-identify, it's like, they feel good, right? It's like, oh, that is me. I feel good about what that is.
And we had a good example in the newsletter. So a bad way of not using this is we help healthcare companies save time. Super generic. So instead, you would say something like, we helped company name, 2-person marketing team reduce landing page builds from 30 days to 3. You're very specific and you're trying to hit several marks with a person, like the target you're talking to.
And you get the feels. Get the feels.
Okay.
All right, number 3.
Three.
The von Restorff effect. I had
Did
to
you
look
know
that one up. I had to look that up, but yeah, this is the pattern interruption, basically effect, basically. So if something sticks out to you, like that's how you have to try to, like, if everything looks alike, you're going to ignore it. But the idea is where you can truly break the script, stand out from them. And this can be, I think about this in a lot of ways, both from a visual perspective for those people like me that are more visual, or even in the writing perspective, if you break out how you write. So whether it be newsletters, like how case studies or videos or whatever the content is, perhaps, if you're breaking out and being a little different in that, or something that's standing out from the crowd, you'll stick out in the prospect's mind.
And this doesn't have to be like rocket science or something massive. It could be something small on your website. So instead of saying request a demo for your call to action, it could be let us prove it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you kind of like playing with the wording and just trying to be a little bit different.
I mean, a lot of, this is another, I guess, a different way of saying is a lot of times people use this methodology in clickbait, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they try to put headlines and things that like are trying to break the cycle of the scroll or break the cycle of what's happening.
Yeah.
Obviously we want to be a little bit more, I guess, marketing moral on this, and try to have something that's is of value, but also will break the script and get them to think about it. So, all right, number 4.
The gold gradient effect. This, I think about this every time I run. Because
this is a life thing.
Because you know how it is when you're so close to the finish line. I'm like, I can see my house right now. It's right there. You're like, faster.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. When you're closer to the finish line, you work harder.
Yeah, this one I think is definitely think about prospects and how you're talking to them. The more you see, like, yeah, I think the analogy of your running is perfect, right? Like, but if you are working on a project and you keep seeing the small gradual progress and you are getting closer and closer, like you just inherently do work way harder to get it done because you want to get over the finish line. Most people, I think, psychology wise. So yeah, this one's a great one. All right. And then the last one, I think that you should do this one because obviously, your motherland.
I had so much fun writing about this one in Partner Science. The IKEA Effect. This is such a good one. If you haven't read this issue in Partner Science, you should go and read that one too. It breaks it down a little bit deeper. But in short, it's basically saying that we value the things that we have put together or created if we've created them ourselves. So it leans into the IKEA name because of how they say you will defend that wobbly bookshelf that you built with your own hands a lot more than something that you just purchased. So that's the name, the IKEA Effect. So in marketing and for B2B buyers, like let them be part of anything, the build, the dashboard, something, like bring them into it to make them feel part of the progress, because when they do, they feel that sense of accomplishment, ownership, and that whole like, I built this, and it means so much more to them.
Yeah, I think this is so, like, if you see a lot of landing pages, I think of this even in landing pages sometimes, or interactions on a website, like if you have the power to like choose and like, I'm going to click here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to create what I want. And I think this is actually why AI has taken off so much too, because a lot of these AI apps they're letting you be part of the journey. They're letting you be part of what you want to do. And once you're in there, it's like you're tinkering. You're like, oh, I'm in, I'm sold. And then they suck them in. So yeah, I think this is one of the best ones. And obviously IKEA is a very, very well-established and strong company. So, all right. So those are the 5 psychology buyer effects.
Yeah. And I think mentioning too is some people feel like using something like this as marketing is sort of like tricking people or manipulating. I fully disagree. This is science. This is just like how our brain works. It's not at all about tricking, because some of this we don't even do this on purpose. It's just like happening to us. Like I'm not purposefully like rushing faster when I'm reaching like closer to the goal. It's just like my body is just acting on it. So 100% do this in your marketing.
Yeah, I think this is just using knowledge to I mean, I look at it from the flip side of the prospect or the buyer. I mean, most people don't have a lot of time. So if you're able to get and shorten the cycle for them too, you're saving them time and effort. That's why, I mean, you could argue about targeting on digital media. Well, I mean, that's another way of trying. If you've curated what you're interested in and you're getting that information, you're saving time. So as a buyer and as a seller. So, all right. The last thing to talk about, which, I mean, we clearly, this is our sweet spot. We love memes.
Our sweet spot. This is like memes.
Meme marketing. So yeah, I think maybe we can pop one up here if you got.
I did put 2 in 1 here.
You got 2 in 1. Yeah. I mean, memes have been around obviously a long time, and I mean, we use them in a lot of different communication. They're all over the interwebs, so to speak. They do work, right? And they work because they actually do what we talked about earlier in the psychology effect, which is they break the cycle, right? They stand out, and that's the point. And sometimes they're like these. Sometimes they're ludicrous, and I mean, obviously the one on the right, if you got a funeral home, like or a cemetery, like these are meant to break the fold and create something that makes people pause. And if you pause, then, I mean, that's the goal. So meme marketing does work. You just have to think through a little bit more creatively on how you're going to use it and what do you want the outcome to be. And does it work for your brand, right?
Yeah. You just got to find your style of meme marketing. Upwork is doing.
That's really cracked me up. Yeah.
So I mean, there's an overflow of memes online that you can find everywhere, and not all will fit your brand and your voice. But I think now there's so many different ways of, like, you can use memes in a more professional way and still be funny and still break that kind of like boring corporate.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to think about how memes versus, like, there's so many AI graphics now being created, which are, I mean, beautiful and amazing and cool. And then you think about meme marketing, like, it is the simplest, it's the dumbed down version of advertising there possibly is. Right? It's the anti-AI creative imagery. So it's just
fun. It's simple and it's very cheap. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it.
No, it's not. So meme marketing, which takes obviously works with psychology. Those are the 2 big things for this week's Marketing Qualified Rundown. And last but certainly not least,
their meme of the week.
The amount of times I've heard people say, just make it go viral.
Just make it go viral. I was listening to the Uncensored CMO the other day, and they talked about that too, like the whole like make it go viral. And I crack up every time I hear someone say that. Like, sure, let me do that.
Yeah. I actually, if we did a poll of like, what do people actually think going viral means? Because I think people think, wow, it depends on the platform too, right? I mean, a viral could be, to some platforms, 1,000 watches, views. Another platform, it need to be millions. Another could be 10. Like, never know.
That's very true. Like, I think most people are like thinking millions and millions though. They're like, this is true viral. Oh boy, that felt good. It was 14 minutes. Not too bad.
Not bad. We broke the cycle too. We're trying to get out of it. We just did a little bit longer today. So always a pleasure. And so same time next week, same bat channel. And if you I will throw it off. This, if you don't know, we do have the other newsletters, partnerscience.tech, right? And we also have Channel Bites as our tech newsletter. And if you don't subscribe, please, you can also just go to our YouTube page and subscribe there and watch instead of reading if you don't want to read.
If you're not a reader.
Yeah, if you're not a reader. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.